Hello, welcome to part 6, the VR6 E36 compact build. Now, it's been a bit of a slow week. I've been waiting for parts, can't have everything. But one thing I have had turn up, which I've been waiting for a while, is starter motor. Now, like I said in the previous video, this is from a V5 Passat, and we don't get them in the UK, so I think it actually took 6 weeks to turn up. Now this should, since you last seen the car, I've put the head on, got the bottom intake in, got the alternator in place, so we can start working out the intake, but we'll get to that later on. The starter motor should fit in there. Now, it obviously fits in the top bolt and that bolt there. We've tried to make this engine mount so we have enough clearance, and then have enough clearance for the downpipe to run along and straight down the back there. I think it's going to work, but let's get it out and eye it up. Now, obviously, it's not the smallest thing in the world, but we've got quite enough space. I think we've got enough space. It's difficult to eye it up once when it's not in the car, but let's see if it fits. So then, like everything else, obviously it doesn't fit, but I think that bolt there that you can see, I've got a lot of washers on there so that they'll be removed. But if I wiggle that back out quickly, if you can see that, that is the bell housing there for the gearbox, and it's catching on that, so we're going to have to cut that out, which isn't an issue, shouldn't be an issue, it should be a piece of piss. And there is also a little bit of webbing here, which I think is going to catch on, so I'm going to have to cut that out as well, just spoon that out a little bit. But from initial thoughts, it lines up with both those holes where it mounts, so I don't think I'm going to be able to fit it until the rest of the engine and gubbins are done, but at least it gives us some idea, and it does take up quite a big amount of space. Obviously move that out of the way, it probably comes out to about here, but then we've got a load of, you can swing a cat in there, so should be fine. Well, I thought it would be fine. Just quickly, obviously that's not where it's actually going to sit, it's going to sit a bit further forward than that, but this thing needs to go here, and that ain't going to fit, not a hope in hell. So I didn't really want to have to try and make a custom one of these, or buy a custom one of these, but I'm going to have to buy a custom one of these. Another thing that I've got to buy, which is custom, you put a VR6 in an E36, it'll be a piece of piss. Obviously it's not, it's never going to be a piece of piss, is it? But, like a challenge, fed up with Beamer engines, I know this is tried and tested, so got to make do. Another thing to customise. Whilst I'm on the subject of customisation, in terms of intake, now we went back and forth, me and Kev, we spent a couple of evenings on this, looking at it, seeing which way would be the best way possible for us to do something as easy and cheap. Not cheap, but easy, relatively inexpensive. So what we decided on, obviously, use the lower intake, because obviously it's got the injector ports and everything like that, saves us a load of hassle. But what we are looking at is doing, like I said in the previous video, a JDM intake, but I've actually ordered a 5-inch bit of alley pipe, 10 swage, whatever it is, like 3.2mm thick, So hopefully what we can do is build a plate off the intake. I'll show you, it's better, it's easier for me to show you, and then I can talk with my hands. So build a plate off of here, stick a tube on it. 5 inch is going to be quite a beast, not old fucking elephant's cock. 5 inch tube, cap the ends, and then do a hole with a 3 inch intake down to throttle body here. So what I have to do now is work out where it's going to go on the bonnet, because I'm going to have to cut out all of that webbing, I think, and put a big old scoop on it. But what I am actually going to do right now, right this moment, is mark out where that is touching there and cut that out for clearance, because at the moment bonnet don't shut anywhere near. Now I have got an alley intake, alley rocker cover. I bought that off one of Kev's mates. So an alley one basically means we can cut this boy off and make it flat, so it'll give us, you know, what's that, 1.5 2 inch clearance. But if I can cut the bonnet enough, because it's mainly just that which sticks out 1 inch, if I can cut the bonnet enough, I might not need to run it, I might not need to cut it, because then what we can do is do ports off of here for breathers. But first things first, I get this bonnet off and get that webbing chopped out. Now, as I was taking this off, made the conscious decision, I might as well just chop the whole thing out. I just hope it doesn't distort the bonnet too much. So, straight across there, bosh, bosh, off you go. See how we get on. Okay, so that's cut. Now what I've got to do, try and run a knife along all of this crap, because she ain't going anywhere. But, you know, once that's done, webbing free, stick that bonnet back on, see what clearances I don't have, and maybe do some more cutting. I might have to just cut the top out, but that can wait for now. Alrighty, webbing's gone. All the Tiger Seal, whatever sealant they used, is also gone. I've just painted over it a little bit just to cover up some rust and some of the cut marks that I made, obviously. But yeah, that's that. Now I would suggest using a sharp knife to take that off. The one I used, you could ride bare ass to London on. It was that dull and it took ages, but there she goes. And I would also advise, this is obviously now thin as fuck, so if you're going to do it, just be careful. Also, whilst I'm here, I want to spray something underneath on the bottom of this. I've done it on my last compact, which I will show you now, which I quite liked, and then after a month I crashed it and broke the front end off, and then I had to put a second bonnet on, which I'll show you now. So, you know, don't crash mush. But I'm taking suggestions. Whatever you think I should spray underneath the bonnet, let me know, and the top light comment I will spray underneath, regardless of what it is. Nothing too bad, nothing racist or whatever, please. But yeah, suggestions, funny suggestions, whatever you think I should spray underneath the bonnet, words, drawings, whatever you think, I will do it. Let me know. So let's see if any of my efforts have actually helped at all. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Like I say, just be careful because this is now single skin and it is very wobbly. Nope, she's still touching. Still get a London bus through there. But, you know, it's giving me a little bit more clearance. It was sort of up an inch higher otherwise, but no good. Now, I'm at a bit of a loss again because I'm waiting for parts, but not really sure what to try and get on with now. Short of taking the engine and gearbox out just to fit the starter motor, I think we'll get the inlet sorted, start looking at all the wiring and everything, because whilst the engine's in the car and it's all in pieces, I think it would be the ideal time to get it all wired up, or at least look at the wiring. I'm going to run Link ECU, basically, because Kev's car is running Link ECU. He's wired it all himself. He can do all the wiring. He's a spark. He knows what he's doing. He's told me to leave him alone whilst he's doing it, which is fair enough. You know, I'll only annoy him. Okay. Shaft spacers have arrived. They are 6mm with some high tensile bolts. That is thanks to Steve at Protezione. Again, let's get them fitted. Have it. Both sides in. With the spacers, new high tensile bolts. It does rotate, although it is a bit tight. But I'm hoping that changes when the arms are on the floor, when the shafts are level. Should be much better. Another job done. Also, I have been looking at a second diff mount, same as this. What I'm thinking is coming off the 2 bolts here and then just welding something up here into another bush. I can probably machine that in the garage here and get it welded onto the off chassis rail there, just to stop the diff from twisting, obviously, when it's on boost. But that can wait for now. Now then, it's Monday and I've just had another delivery. It is intercooler has finally turned up. Big boy. Hopefully this is another eBay purchase, but you know, my hand for reference. She's a thick old girl. Let's see what it looks like eyed up in the car. See if I can fit it in the chassis legs. Now it's not going to stay there. It's going to be, obviously the intakes are going to be underneath the chassis legs, but you know, that should provide adequate cooling. Happy with that. It's not bad for an eBay jobby. It looks quite good. Welds, you know, I'm acting like I can weld alleys like this, but you know, they look pretty good. Could be a lot worse, and it's nice that they got tabs on the top and bottom so I can mount it all, but won't be able to do that till obviously the rest of the front end of the car's on. But that'll give you some idea. She goes big old girl. Now, as I'm waiting for parts and I've got some spare time, I thought I'd have a look at getting the hydro in. Now, this is a Born to Drift hydro. I've just changed the grip on it. I've ran this in cars previously, but one thing I do want to change, that's the standard master that comes on it. These are good if you want to just run in line to your standard rear calipers, but I don't want to do that. I want to run twin calipers. So I've gone for one of these, an external res, but obviously it fits slightly different. So what I think I need to do is bend that forward out of the way, is lop it off there, drill a hole, so that fits through it, and then bolt it in. And I've checked the bolt pattern and it does bolt in on the 2 holes, top and bottom there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get on with it.